A Study in Scarlet, 1887, Episode 3, The Science of Deduction. Welcome back, Detective. Last time you discovered the mysterious murder of Enoch Drebber and that puzzling word, RACHE, written in blood. Now you're about to witness Holmes's legendary deductive methods in action. Picture this. You're back at 221B Baker Street the following morning. Holmes sits in his armchair, the mysterious wedding ring spinning between his fingers like a golden coin. Watson paces nervously by the window. "Holmes," Watson says, "I've been thinking about yesterday. How can you be so certain about the killer's height and appearance from mere footprints?" Holmes's eyes twinkle. "Ah, Watson, perfect timing for a lesson in deductive reasoning. Detective friend, would you care to learn the science behind what might seem like magic? What would your answer be? Are you curious about Holmes's methods, or do you think some things should remain mysterious?" "Observe this ring," Holmes begins, holding it up to catch the morning light. "What do you see?" Watson squints. A plain gold wedding band, somewhat worn. "Exactly, but what story does it tell us? Look closer, Detective. Notice how the gold is worn thin on the inside? This ring has been worn for many years, probably decades, but see here?" Holmes points with his magnifying glass. There are tiny scratches around the inner band. Can you guess what these scratches might indicate? Think about when someone might repeatedly remove and replace a wedding ring. The scratches suggest the ring was frequently taken off and put back on, Holmes continues. Why would someone do this? Perhaps to hide their married status, or maybe they removed it for work that required clean hands, like handling chemicals or medicines. Holmes sets down the ring and picks up a newspaper. Now let's return to our crime scene analysis. Watson, you seemed puzzled by my conclusions about the footprints. The science is quite simple once you understand the principles. He grabs a sheet of paper and begins sketching. A man's stride length correlates directly with his height. Elementary anatomy, really. Our tall suspect had a stride of 31 inches between steps. Using basic mathematical ratios, this indicates a man of approximately 6 feet 2 inches. "But how did you know about his appearance and clothing?" Watson asks. Holmes's sketch shows 2 sets of footprints. "Observation, my dear fellow. The deep impressions suggest our tall man wore heavy boots, working man's footwear. But look at these other prints." He points to smaller, shallower marks. Patent leather shoes barely scuffing the floor. Expensive, well-maintained. The stride is shorter, more careful, suggesting someone conscious of their appearance. What do you think about this methodology, Detective? Does it seem logical, or are there flaws you can spot? Now, about that word, RACHE, Holmes continues. Gregson assumed it was incomplete English. Revenge, cut short. But what if the killer wasn't English at all? Holmes pulls out a German dictionary. In German, RACHE means revenge. But it's a complete word, not a fragment. This suggests our murderer is German, or at least familiar with the language. "But Holmes," Watson interjects, "why write it at all? Why leave such an obvious clue?" Excellent question. This reveals something crucial about our killer's psychology. He wants his motive understood. This isn't a random crime. It's personal, deeply personal. Holmes stands and walks to his chemistry table where various bottles and instruments are arranged. Now, let me demonstrate another crucial technique. The science of detection through chemical analysis. He picks up a small sample of the ash found at the crime scene. Watson, detective friend, observe carefully. I'm going to identify the exact type of tobacco from this ash. What would you expect this to reveal? How might tobacco identification help solve the case? Holmes adds a drop of reagent to the ash. It turns a distinct blue-green color. Trichinopoly cigars, as I suspected. Expensive, imported from India. This narrows our suspect pool considerably. Not many people in London can afford such luxuries. Furthermore, Holmes continues, examining another ash sample. Our victim smoked common European tobacco. The killer's choice of expensive cigars suggests wealth, refinement, or at least pretensions to both. Watson looks amazed. But how can you tell all this from ash? Each tobacco leaves a unique chemical signature when burned, Holmes explains. I've spent months cataloging over 140 different varieties. Knowledge is power, Watson. but only when properly organized and applied. Do you find this level of detail impressive or obsessive, detective? Would you have the patience for such meticulous study? Holmes returns to his chair and steeples his fingers. Now let's construct our theory. We have a German-speaking killer, tall, wearing heavy boots, who smokes expensive cigars. He had a personal vendetta against Dreber. RACHE confirms this. The poison was sophisticated, probably alkaloid-based, suggesting medical or chemical knowledge. But what about the wedding ring? Watson asks. Holmes's eyes gleam. That, my dear Watson, is our key to everything. I believe it belonged to the woman who fainted at the crime scene. She's connected to both the victim and the killer. The question is, how? Just then, Mrs. Hudson appears with the Morning Post. A telegram for you, Mr. Holmes. Holmes tears it open, his expression growing intense. Fascinating. Gregson reports another body has been found. Same circumstances, no apparent wounds, same look of terror. This time it's Joseph Stangerson, Dreber's secretary. 2 murders? Watson gasps. And the same killer, no doubt. But this accelerates everything, detective friend. Our murderer is working to a timetable. He has a list, and he's checking it off methodically. What does this second murder suggest to you? What pattern might be emerging? Holmes springs to his feet with renewed energy. The game intensifies. We're dealing with someone systematic, intelligent, and utterly ruthless, but also someone driven by a deep personal sense of justice, or revenge. Where do we start? Watson asks. With the ring, naturally. We place an advertisement in the evening papers. Found, a gold wedding ring on the Brixton Road. Apply to Dr. Watson, 221B Baker Street. Our mysterious lady will come to us. Do you think this plan will work, detective? What might go wrong? And more importantly, what will you do when the killer realizes you're closing in? As Holmes prepares the advertisement, he turns to you both with a warning smile. Remember, we're not just hunting a murderer. We're hunting someone who stayed ahead of Scotland Yard for days. He's intelligent, resourceful, and has nothing left to lose. The next phase of our investigation begins now. Stay alert, stay observant, and trust in the science of deduction. The truth will reveal itself. It always does. Next episode, the mysterious lady arrives, bringing with her secrets that will change everything you thought you knew about this case.